Izuchukwu Christian is my name. I'm a student loan officer of Edestra Limited. So please today, also on this platform, I have my colleague, Mercy, and then Liberty. And also the founder of After School Africa is also here, Mr. Ikena. So please leave your message. We are all here to make sure we have a great time. All right, thank you. Today we have a special person in our midst. His name is Chukwuma Chime. Of course, he's going to tell us more about himself. He's a management consultant, and he'll be telling us more about what that means. And then he has obtained a master's degree for business administration, and he won a scholarship of $80,000, a merit scholarship. He also got a loan of $100,000, a private student loan. So please today, let's make welcome none other than our speaker for today, Mr. Chukwuma Chime, a 2022-2024 Duke University alumni, USA. Thank you. A round of applause, maybe will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure is ours. Thank you. We want to start with you telling us about your admissions. Let's know about your admission journey. How was it like? What did you do? We want to know, and I believe everyone wants to know how you went to get a scholarship, your loan. We're all eager to hear you today. Hence, we're all gathered today. So, Chukwuma, the floor is yours now. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to thank you guys for hosting this. This is very helpful. I wish I had something similar to this when I was preparing. So it's a very wonderful program, and I advise people to take this opportunity. Just as Izu mentioned, my name is Chukwuma Chime. I graduated from Duke University May last year, and I moved to the US in 2022. So this is like my third year in the country. Applying to for a master's degree program was really difficult, I must say. I applied twice. I was a reapplicant. So I applied the first time, I didn't get in. And so I applied the second time. I was lucky to get admitted into Duke. I applied to a couple of schools. I think I did 7 schools in the first round and 6 in the second round. Prior to applying for the MBA, I finished from University of Benin. I studied accounting, and I worked 5 years at KPMG Nigeria. So I thought I had a good academic background and a good work experience. But the master's, applying for an MBA was a whole different journey that came with many roadblocks. Happy to talk more about those roadblocks later on this call, but one of them really was having taken a GMAT or a test score. That was my major problem during the process. But, at the end of the day, I scaled through. Yes, I was at Duke for 2 years, and I graduated last May, like I mentioned. I know Izu talked about what I currently do. So I work as a management consultant. I moved to Dallas. So Duke is in North Carolina, and after I graduated, I moved to Dallas, Texas, almost immediately after my graduation. The schools I applied to were Duke. I did a couple Ivy League schools as well. So I did Cornell. I applied to Tuck. Tuck is the name of the business school, but the name of the university is Dartmouth University, which is also an Ivy League school. I applied to University of Virginia. I applied to Yale. Yes, that's another Ivy League school I did. And I think I did 1 or 2 other schools, but yeah, it was generally a tough moment for me. But I was glad to finally get admitted into Duke, and happy to share more about my experience on this call.
All right, thank you. That was glorific. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. And I believe a lot of people are getting information. And it showed that you applied to so many other schools.
Yes.
But was it just Duke that you had the admission offer, or are there other schools that gave you admission and you chose Duke?
So that's a good question. I got admitted into Duke, and I was still on the waitlist process for other schools. But when due came, I just decided
Okay.
to end the process with other schools. So how it works is when you could get either of three decisions, you could get accepted or waitlisted. Waitlisted is just to say, we're still reviewing your profile. Maybe there's something in your profile that still doesn't make sense and they want you to address it. So they give you some time to look through your application and try to fix it. Or you could get a rejection. My case was, funny enough, I got waitlisted in all the schools I applied to. In first round and second round, I got a waitlist decision. And I guess that was because they liked my academic background. I graduated first class in University of Benin, and my work experience was good as well. But my GMAT score was average, so maybe they were giving me some time to fix that. But yeah, when Duke came, even though I was still on the wait list on other schools, I just dropped off. So that's just a long answer to say I got into only Duke, but I could have gotten more admission if I decided to wait.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So, how about your scholarship journey? How was it? Is this same thing? What happened? How did you get your scholarship? Because getting $80,000 for scholarship is really huge. So tell us more about that. Let's know more. Yes.
So I like to say, first of all, that I did an MBA, that's Master in Business Administration, and it may be a little different from other programs that people on this call might be considering on doing. For the MBA, really, the scholarship comes with your admission. They make the decision when they are giving you an admission as to how much scholarship you'll be given. And that really just depends on the strength of your application. If you are someone that they believe they want in the school, you're someone that, I was just saying that usually when you do an MBA, your scholarship comes alongside your admission offer. And it really just depends on your strength of application and how much you are needed in the school. So for me, I didn't have to do anything extra. When I got in, I got a scholarship offer. But I think they initially gave me $70,000 and I had to write a letter to them saying I needed more money. And they added an extra $10,000. But for other people on this call who might be considering doing an MSc, I know that you may need to reach out to professors, that is in the line of interest that your research interest that you are considering, and asking if you could be part of his research group or cohorts. I think those are some ways people get scholarship. But for me, it just came directly with my admission letter.
Okay, good. Let's go straight to it. How about the loan? Because you mentioned you also got some loans. Now, Was it that the money wasn't enough, so you needed to augment? And what was the loan about? And was it easy for you to get? What was it like for you?
The U.S. education system is built on loans. It's very expensive here, and most times you cannot finish schooling. Like you can't go to school without loans. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to get loans here. And that's why I tell people, a lot of people hear the prices of coming to school here and just feel like it's too much. I can't do it. But, you can get a loan for it. And everyone is happy to give you a loan as long as you have a good profile. The MBA is very expensive. And the program alone for 2 years plus living expenses, you need like $200,000. But how many people have that money in Nigeria? So you need to take up loans. My case was pretty easy. Once you get admitted into Duke, we have like some partner loan institutions, and you just need to go on their website and say yes, you got admitted into Duke. Submit your admission letter, and they will approve the loan for you. The bad thing about it is it comes with a high interest rate. I remember when I took my loan in 2022, it was about 8%, and then it rose up. If you guys listening to the news, at some point we had the interest rates were really high. So it rose up to about 13%. Imagine paying 13% on a $200,000 loan. But the good thing is when you graduate and have a good job, and your credit score improves, you are able to refinance that loan. Refinancing just means taking up another loan at a lower interest. Because the first loan you take, really, they see you as a big risk. You don't have any credit score. You're coming from Nigeria. So your interest will be high. But by the time you stay here a couple of years and you work, you'll be able to get a better loan offer. So right now, I was able to get a new loan and my interest rate is about 5.5%. So it dropped from 13 to 5.5%, which is reasonable.
So are you saying you took another loan to clear off the other one?
Yes, that's how, yeah, you take
Works.
another loan but hopefully by the time you're taking another loan, you have a better credit profile, they trust you more and you are less of a risk. So you're able to get another loan a day. Plus right now interest rates have been dropping. So
Dropped.
yeah, it have dropped. So yeah, so I was able to get a cheap rate and you can always refinance. I think I even checked my loan account today. I think I'll be able to refinance in another 2 or 3 months. Hopefully, I can get a lower interest rate, an interest rate lower than 5.5%. So, the summary of all of this is you probably have to take loan at some point, but don't be scared about it. You can possible to pay off if you get a good job.
Okay, so you're actually advising people not to be scared about taking loan, especially when they get a good job.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. So currently, so paying back, how is it like for you? Have you been doing the payback? What is it like? Especially now the interest rate is lower. What is it like?
Yeah. So initially when I took my loan initially, they gave me a tenure of 20 years. So the plan was, I can't remember how much my monthly repayment was supposed to be, maybe like $1,000 per month for 20 years. But the longer the period, of course, the more interest you pay. And so if I had left that loan for 20 years, I'll end up paying almost times 3 or times 2 of the loan amount I borrowed. So what I did was when I was taking my new loan, I shortened my loan tenure. So my new loan is a five-year loan tenure. And I'm paying every month. I'm paying a huge amount every month, but I reduced it to 5 months because I want to try to pay off my loan as quickly as possible. But you could always move your tenor. Like if I decide in May and I think that, like the monthly payment is too high for me, I could call the bank and try to refinance again and extend the loan tenor. But right now, I'm paying every month. My plan is to pay off my loan in 5 years or even in 3 years, if that's possible. But the whole summary is you can easily pay off the loan if you end up getting a good job. And the caveat there is end up getting a good job because really the market is terrible, just as it is in Nigeria, it is right here. So getting a job is really tough. But if you can get one, you can pay off your loan.
Wow. So yours is just to make sure you get a good job. That's the main thing. And now it's tedious. Now it's very hard to get a job. Is this something that should discourage people? Or what do you think people should do?
I wouldn't say discourage. I would say more like think deeper about it. Is this really a good time for you to leave? Do you have a good reason for leaving? Are you leaving to just run away from T-Pain? So it's more like looking at your application and, asking yourself, do you have the experience? Because when you come here, it's a whole different,
ball game.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. And but if you have a strong experience, if you know how to keep relationships, I think most times people just feel like you need to have the academic background. Sometimes people just know how to speak and interact and build connections with people.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's it. And so if your profile is strong, I would say they still take people, but even though it's harder, but these top companies still take people. So live with a purpose, basically. And
that's a big one. Live with a purpose. That's a big one. So very quickly, we want to find out what was your journey concerning your visa processing? What was it like? How did you go through that? Was it something very difficult? What did you bring out so that people can learn from you? Yes.
So the visa process is a very tricky one. And luckily I think I was very lucky during my process. I know I mentioned earlier that I was on the wait list at Duke, but I admitted really late. Most times schools start around August, and schools advise international students to apply early so that you can hopefully get admitted by January, February, so that you have enough time for visa, because they understand the visa complications that we have.
Yeah.
But I got admitted really late. My admission came like May. In fact, I'd already settled that I was going to try again the following year until I got admitted in May. And it would be shocking for you to hear that my passport had even expired, because I didn't even think I was going to get admitted that year. So not only did I have visa issues, I had passport issues, like trying to get a new passport.
Wow.
But it was just, I was, walking around the clock that period. For visa, it's, you just really need to prepare, right? The visa officer who you're speaking out to probably already has a bias and maybe doesn't want to give you a visa. So you need to convince him, give him reasons for him to give you that visa. You need to speak confidently, first of all. You need to know your application back and forth, because they will ask you how you funding your application. You don't want to stammer when he asks you that. So have your stories at the back of your mind. They would also ask you, what are you going there? What are you going there for? What is your plan after your MBA? And these are questions that you should have strong answers for. When I was preparing for my visa interview, I had mock sessions with friends who had gotten their own visa. So they walked me through the process, and we had mock interviews before I went to the actual interview. So it's just basically preparing, because a lot of people get admitted and don't get visa. It's a thing. I don't think that you get admitted and you are going to get your visa. People get rejected by the visa officers. So it's just like getting the admission, really. It's a whole, new process that you sadly have to be very prepared for.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you for that basic information. Now, talking about admission, here for us at After School Edestra Limited, we offer admission service. You can check us on our website on edestra.com/study abroad. One of our admins will also do that. We'll put up that on our page. One of our admins will put that up on the platform edestra.com/study abroad. And then for our student loan service, you can always reach out, check us on edestra.com/loan, edestra.com/loan, or you can also reach us via our WhatsApp number. We'll put all this out via the comment section. All right, so while this is going on, please, if you have a question, I think we're receiving questions already. You can leave your questions right there so that we can attend to them as soon as possible. So I'm speaking with Chukwuma Chime. Chukwuma Chime is a winner of Duke University scholarship of $80,000, and he also took loan of $100,000 in a private loan company. And then, of course, he's paying his loan back. He has shared with us so many experiences. So now back to the question. Let me ask you this. In school, what were the cultural or academic adjustments you had to take, and how quickly did you adapt to all of this since you got there? What were some of those activities you find yourself making or doing and then began to adapt to it? What are those? You can share with us.
Yeah, that's a good question. Academic and cultural. Academic, there were a couple. One was, first of all, I had to do too many assignments, and that was something I was not used to. I don't know which schools you guys went to, but in Uniben, usually your grade for a course, you just need to take the final exam.
Okay, let me get that clear. Uniben is University of Benin, Nigeria, right?
Yeah, University of Benin, Nigeria. Sorry, I forgot that we have some non-Nigerians on this call.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So usually when you take a course, your grade is based on your final exam. Maybe there are one or two courses that you have to do, like mid-semester test or exam, but usually you just take one exam that determines your score for that course. But here in the US, there are many assignments. Like after every class, you have an assignment. You have a teamwork to do. You have a paper to present the next class. And you have to do that while also recruiting. We can talk about recruiting later, but when you come to the US, you come in August and you almost start to recruit like September, October. So imagine actually trying to get a job and you have too many assignments you're doing. So it was really tough for me to adjust to. Maybe another thing was participating in classroom discussions as well. That was another academic um, that was another thing on the academic side I had to adjust to because when I went to college in Nigeria, even though I graduated with a good result, I don't think I spoke in class more than 10 or 15 times over 4 years in school. But yeah, you have to
No.
talk. You have
Oh,
to talk.
wow.
You have to participate. There's a portion of your grade that is assigned to just class participation. So that was another thing on the academic side. And maybe another thing would be just speaking directly, writing in a very direct manner. I realize that most people from where we come from, we use a lot of modifiers when we write. We just try to put a lot of words, but most times it's just really going straight to the point and being as succinct as possible. So I learned almost like I learned how to, write in a very professional manner. So those were some adjustments on the academic side. Now on the cultural side, um, one of them was learning how to do small talks. And small talks is just really talking to people in a very friendly way. You just need to know how to connect with people and know how to build relationships. You can't just rely on the fact that you have technical abilities. You need to know how to connect deeply with people. And that's something I wasn't really good at prior to leaving the country.
Okay.
Uh, I also needed to have an open mind. A lot of us coming from Africa, we're very rigid in our thinking. You only know one thing and
Your
that thing.
own.
You don't want to open your mind to other things. The US is very multicultural, so no one is saying you should drop your beliefs,
Yeah.
but still know that people, have their own personal views to things as well. So those were some changes. Those were some cultural and academic changes that I
Okay.
had.
So if you had to go back to 2022, what were those things you would have put together now? I haven't known this, that you would have said, okay, these are the things I should have been doing. I could have gotten to this higher level. What could it be?
I would have been more confident. I was very
Oh,
timid. I was very, if you had had this conversation with me 2 years ago,
earlier.
probably wouldn't have been like this. I'm probably not where I want to be, but I was very timid. I was very shy. I didn't know how to speak with people. When I started schooling, I only just stuck with my Nigerian African friends.
Oh,
We need to learn, speak with whites, just try to connect deeply with people and be very confident about that. And that's one thing that's one skill I wish I built, maybe public speaking on stuff. I know easily you're very good at that, but maybe that's something I wish I knew how to do. Yes.
oh, great. Okay, you made earlier in our conversation, you mentioned relationship, that you don't know where it could have taken you. So was it at this process that this thing played out for you, relationship?
So I got a good job, yes, and I'm very, happy for that. But when I was recruiting, there were other jobs that I sought for as well,
Okay.
of which I I I felt like I did not connect with the people. So how it works here is you have, for example, if you want to get a job in a company, you don't just apply, submit your resume, and they call you to interview. That's probably the style back home in Africa. But here you have a lot of chats. You have coffee chats, something they call coffee chats.
Okay.
Depending on the company, some companies view that as an integral part of their recruiting process. So for some companies, I had like 10, 15 coffee chats with, and I don't think they went well, so
Oh,
that's where the relationship comes from because I was very focused on knowing the technical side of the conversation. Like, oh, if they ask me, how do you value a company? And I'll tell, oh, there are three ways of valuing a company. But those were not the things they were focusing on, at least at the early stages of those conversations. They wanted to know how excited I was speaking with them, how enthusiastic I was, and, how inquisitive I was. And I don't think I showed any of that. And I didn't try to build relationship with them. So that's pretty.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that feedback, because it really helps us to understand what it means to connect and then have a great relationship. A lot of people are dropping a lot of questions, and I sincerely appreciate you for that. So we're going to be taking your questions as soon as possible. But quickly, let's begin to wind it down to concerning our speaker. Are there lessons to learn from this journey, on all of this journey? Are there lessons for people listening to you to learn from in all this journey? Because you started as a fresher, like you said. If you had had this interview earlier, you would have said, oh, I should have done this, I should have done this. What are the lessons you could learn from someone who wants to start afresh just like you, but is opportune to listen to you today? Yes.
That's a strong one. The one that comes to my mind now is no man is an island. I know everyone has heard that
Yes.
thing, but really lean on people, surround yourself with like minds, and attend events like this. When you apply to schools, there are a lot of things they look out for in your application. It's not just having the best score. It's not just having the best essays. They want to know that you are very much interested in the school. And one way you do that is by speaking with people who have graduated from that school. It's probably good you spoke with me, but you may not be applying to Duke. And that school you want to apply to, try to reach out to people in that school and learn about their experiences. Because these admission officers, when they read your application and your essays, they know, they can tell how excited you are about the school. They can tell whether you just researched the school online or whether you have spoken with someone, inside to learn more about the experience. So really just connecting with people, attending events like this and listening to experiences of other people. That's one thing I would, if, for someone who is trying to get into school now, that's one advice I would give to you. And then secondly would be having a conviction. And I know we touched on it earlier, but
yes,
you don't want to just come here because your friends are coming here. You don't want to come here without something to fall back to. So have a strong reason for coming here and make sure that you are very prepared before you cross the border, because things get really tough here, and you don't want to leave a good paying job, come here and not have a job and have loans. It's going to be double jeopardy.
Headache.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that feedback. So when you came out of school, what was the big realization immediately you came out? How did it come out to your mind? I'm in school, what am I going to do now? Or were you preparing already to get a job, or what was it like for you? Since it was very hard to get a job. Yes.
So how the MBA works, and this might be different from MSc, is that you come in August, you start to recruit like September for internship. So you do internship the next year. So I joined like August 22, and then I started to recruit September, October, November, December. Really the first 3 to 4 to 5 months of you coming to the US is recruiting. So you can imagine the cultural shift. You are just coming to the country and you need to find a job. But if you can get a job by December, January, that job is for your internship in summer of 2023. So you intern in June of 2023. Okay. And after your internship, you either get a full-time offer to start full-time after you graduate, that's the next year, or sadly, you may not get a return offer. If you don't get a return offer, that's another whole, you need to start recruiting again in your second year in school. But thankfully, after my internship, I got a return offer to like a full-time offer to start like 2024 after I graduated. So my second year for me in school was easy because I had done my internship and I already had an offer to start, after I graduate. So after I finished school, so when I was in my second year, I was just having fun. I traveled to a couple of countries and I was more relaxed because I already knew I had a job waiting for me after I graduated.
That's a better
So
thought.
yeah, so it was when I graduated, I wasn't thinking about, job. I think the only realization I had was, okay, things are about to get real now because I was about to enter
The
proper,
real world.
proper corporate America. And I was
Yeah.
already missing, all the fun times I had with friends,
Yes.
travel a lot and stuff like that. But yeah, that was really the only thing. But I understand that the MSc program is probably different.
Different
So I can't speak to that really,
on
but
that regard. Okay.
that's
Okay,
that
great. But while you were in school, were you paying your loan a bit? Were you paying since you traveled? I believe there was money in your hand then, or how was it like for you?
which money, where the money is. The small money you have family at home that you need to send things to small, sometimes.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I mean I was surviving on loan when I was in school, so I can't be
Okay.
using loan money to
Oh,
get back loan.
so
So
you were not paying anything back when you were in
I
school.
was
Let's be clear.
I wasn't paying.
Oh, okay. We needed to be
I
clear on that.
Yeah, I wasn't paying because you are not also expected to pay. Usually when you take loan for
Okay.
school, you don't pay until you graduate. In fact, even after you graduate, they still give you a 9-month moratorium. So based on my initial loan offer, I was not expected to pay a dime until February this year. That was
Hmm.
based on my loan offer. That was my start date of paying on. But that doesn't mean interest, your loan will continue to accrue interest. So you continue to accrue interest on that loan, but you're not expected to pay
Okay.
money. That being said, I was also able to get a so when you're a student, there are some limitations. Of course, you can't do some kind of jobs.
Jobs, yeah.
But when I was in Duke, I worked as a a teaching assistant for a couple of courses. I was also an admission fellow. So people who were applying to the MBA, I was interviewing them. So usually you can be a student interviewer. So I did interviews as well, and they paid me some money. So that also augmented my loan, my money I got from loan. So that's how I was living, but I wasn't paying down on my loans in school.
That's a good one. Now, being an African, tell us what this experience so far you've had. How has it shaped your outlook on African role in the global landscape? How has it shaped it? What does that bring to your mind because of your experience in the role of Africa in the global landscape?
In the role of Africa, I think that we have a rich culture. I think we have smart people. I think we have great potential in Africa, but we don't show it. I think that there's a lot of people don't know about the resources that lie back home in Africa. Most people don't even know that Africa is a continent. Some people think Africa is a country. So
Wow.
we have to be able to display our cultures. We have to be able to let people know, to think outside of these stereotypes. We have to be able to let people know who we are as a people. So I believe strongly that if we're able to, I mean, no one's going to lie, we have like problems back home in Africa, leadership problems and everything. But if we're able to address that and fix some of these problems, I think we're on our way to
To
being
greater heights.
to being recognized in the global landscape.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a very good one. So finally, tell us, in your final word, what is the mindset or preparation key for young Africans who are considering to study abroad? For the people that want to study abroad, I want to jackpot like we all know. What should they have in mind? I think you mentioned some point, but while we wrap this up, just pick one or two as we begin to take questions now. Yes.
So think about your application as a whole. Some people think that I just need to get the best GMAT score. I mean, and I'm good. Some people think that um, well, GMAT, I think a lot of people just feel like everything is about your test score. But
Yeah.
sometimes you can have the best of test scores and you don't get in. So think about your application as a whole. Try to tie your stories. Don't let your essay say one thing and let when you get interview invites, because I don't know I think the MSc programs, well, I don't think MSc programs interview, but in the MBA, even though when you apply, they call you to interview. So when you're being interviewed, try to also say a similar story. Let people see your application as one whole, one holistic story. So just work on every aspect of yourself. But maybe I'll be going back to the test as well. Do a test that that plays to your strength. I think that was my major issue because I wanted to take GMAT. I was taking GMAT. But there are other tests I could have taken, like GRE. I could have taken, some other exams that some schools take. So just explore, right? And some schools now even give test waivers, right? So I think then I was hell bent on writing a test because I thought that would that's what everybody wants. But some of my friends got into school without having a test. You could ask for a test waiver because since COVID, some schools have started waiving, test scores from applicants. So I think in all of this, basically the summary is you need to think of your application as a whole. You need to research the schools you're applying to because different schools have different things they are looking out for. You may not be able to copy and paste your application from one school to the other. You need to tailor your application to the needs of a particular school. And those are the things you need to put in mind when you're applying to have a successful outcome.
But based on what you said now, it seems you did all of this by yourself without an agency, or was it like?
So if I'm to be honest, during my first, because I said I applied twice, my
Yes,
first
yes.
year of applying, I worked with someone.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
I worked with someone who had graduated from an MBA and was starting like a education consulting business, writing
Sense.
essays to people. I think that's good. But another thing you need to look at is nobody really writes your essays more than you do, right? No
Mm.
one can tell your story more than you. You are the person
True.
who tells the
Mm.
story. So when you work with people, it's really good, especially I worked at KPMG. I didn't have time on my hands. I was working from morning to night. So at that time, I felt like I needed somebody to guide me through the process, to hold me accountable by the end of
Yes.
your journey. So when somebody writes an essay for you or tells you to do something, you should have the final say. You should be able to make those changes yourself because it's your process. So I used someone in the first year and she was of great help to me, but at the same time, I felt like the story was not genuine because I read some of the essays and I didn't think that this was me writing the essay. So what I did in the second year was to learn from the experiences I had in my first year and to do it myself in the second year and speak with more people. And when I was in the second year, I had a better experience and I was able to do it. So it's good to use. I think you should use people, but also try to have a
Be a
content
part of it.
process.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, great. So having said that, we have someone here called Edward from Uganda. He said he was also admitted to Duke University for 2025, 2026. So shout out Edward from Uganda. You see your people.
Go Duke.
Yeah. But he said his own admission is without a scholarship. All right, so that's what he said here. Okay,
Edward.
so yeah.
Wait, can I say a thing? Where is Edward on this chat?
Edward, are you there? Okay, maybe Edward, you can just say hi to your call. Your should you say someone who is ahead? Yeah.
Edward, we have today is I don't know how much you know about Duke basketball, but Duke is a very good basketball school. And today
Oh,
is Duke versus University of North Carolina. North Carolina
Ah,
is our sister school. It's just
okay.
around the corner. But I urge you to see that game. It's a huge basketball rivalry game. I'm going to try to see it today, but I hope
Great.
it wins. Yeah. So
So Edward, you have a basketball game to watch today. So
yeah,
let's delve into the question. Thank you. This is really an interesting one. Someone asked the question, how much does it cost to apply for a scholarship at Duke University, or how much to apply to get an admission there? Someone just wants to know how much to apply there. I think it's from Teddy Masomola. Yes. Please, can you help on
Yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so and it doesn't cost you anything to be honest. The only thing you need to pay is application fee, and most
Okay.
times you can get that waived as an African. For the MBA program, you need to attend a school's because if these schools have events online. So once you attend one of their admission events, they give you like a discount code that waives your application fee. I think the application fee is $250, but you can get it
Oh,
even though you
okay.
don't attend the event. I think you can
Okay.
always send an email. In this country, really, is ask and it shall be given unto you.
Oh,
You
wow.
send an email to the admission officer to say, you know, you want to apply, blah, blah, blah. Just bobo them and tell them you don't have money.
Okay,
I
when you mean Bobo, what do you mean Bobo? Then what do you mean by that?
just tell them that, that's the school you want to go to and just tell them that they are your first choice and all of that. I mean,
Ah,
I'm not saying lie, but show interest and you
okay,
can tell them that you don't like you are not able to pay the money. I'm very sure that they will be able to waive the fee for you. So the only thing you need
okay,
is an application fee, and that can be waived for you, really.
okay. So I think that also answers the question for Elisha. Elisha is asking, does Duke University provide application fee waiver? So Elisha, you've gotten your answer with based on what he just said now as well. Tony, I think that's clear. So someone, Afiz Ali is asking, what answers do you give during your visa interview? Oh, what are your answers? You want to share that with us briefly?
I can't share it on this call now. You
All
want to
right. All right. Okay. We also have another question. Does Duke University, okay, I think we said that. This is from Ali Taufik. He said, good morning, Mr. Chime. Recently, I've applied for so many universities in USA. The major problem I'm having currently is official transcript and evaluation. According to some people, they said it takes longer time before arriving to the school, and the evaluation is very expensive. Please, is there any easy way around it? You want to jump in to that? For transcripts
Yeah,
and,
for transcripts.
and evaluation. They said it takes longer time before arriving to the school, and the evaluation is very expensive. Is there any easy way around it? Maybe based on your experience, is there anything you can share on that?
Sadly, I don't think I can share. I just really start, should I say starting the process on time, but you can't really start until you get admitted. I guess, like I mentioned earlier, how about you reach out to the school
Okay.
and tell them about your issue? So for me, I didn't have to evaluate my transcript, but Duke
Oh, great.
asked transcript. But I did not send my transcript to them until maybe, I don't think they received my transcript until I was finishing my first year because I know ASU was on strike or schools were locked, were closed when I got admitted. So it wasn't really a big deal. I know that what they said was that I needed to give them the transcript before I graduated, but they were able to make some, concessions for me. So I am sure they understand our issues. So if you tell them you're unable to get your transcripts, hopefully they're able to give you some more time. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know any other easy way other than starting the process earlier or looking
Yeah.
on inside your school exams and records and seeing if someone can help you get it to you faster.
All right. Thank you for that feedback. So, Aroy Gabriel is asking, is it after securing scholarship that you proceed for loan? I think you answered that already.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
because you want to know how much loan you need, and you should get your scholarship before you get your loan. But that being said, you can get if you get your loan and you get some scholarship, there's nothing stopping you from paying down your loan. So take, for example, you get loan, but you then get scholarship later, and you decide to pay off your loan with your scholarship. You can do that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, maybe it's advisable to ask for loan after you've gotten your scholarship.
Okay, that's beautiful. All right, that's a good one. So after getting someone, Ahmed Ibrahim is asking, after getting F11 or F1, I beg your pardon, F1, I-20, what is the probability of getting visa? Ibrahim wants to know that. What's the probability?
And that one depends on your
based, yeah, it's based.
With the visa
Yes.
officer.
Yeah, it's based on that. Yes.
It's on an individual basis. No one can say. It's just the visa officer that decides.
Okay, great. So Ahmed Ibrahim, I believe you get that clearly. So all right, and yes, you get the recording of this. So someone is asking Victor Okonkwo, is it Duke University Fuqua Business School? No. You guys are talking about here Fuqua Business School.
Yeah, Fuqua. It's
Fuqua. Okay.
Fuqua. Yeah, but that's so usually universities have. I mean, just like faculty, your university will have like different faculties or colleges, and those colleges will be named after most times the person that brings the most money, because these faculties are funded by people. So maybe the donor that brings the highest money, they will name the college after the person. So at Duke University, the business school is called Fuqua School of Business. So most universities have different names for different colleges, basically.
Okay. So Mr. Victor Okonkwo, we're talking about the school, Fuqua, Duke, same school we're talking about. So someone is asking, what about payment of enrollment? Edward Chabaga. What about payment of enrollment deposit after getting an admission offer, in case you have no means to afford?
You have to pay that one to get
that one is on you.
Yeah, that one is on you. We had to pay, I think I had to pay $4,000 or $5,000. But the good thing was that then exchange rate was still manageable. It was like 500 or 600. So 600 naira to $1 to $1, yeah. So then $4,000 was like 2 million naira. Yeah.
Oh, at the time.
Yeah, but now $4,000 is probably like, I don't know,
4 to 5, 6 million.
Yeah. 6.4 million. So that one is on you. Maybe you have to take money from family and friends, but you have to pay that to secure your seat in the classroom.
So Edward Chabaga, you hear that? So that one is basically on you. Someone is asking, Duke University offer masters, mathematics education masters. I think you just have to go to their website to find out that information. All right. So while we wrap up the question, how did you apply for Duke scholarship yourself? I think you mentioned the scholarship came in. The admission came with a scholarship based on his application.
But you can always ask for more money if you need.
Okay.
More. Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing people do is you have everything is just information is power. Just do your research. Some schools have, in addition to the merit scholarship they give to you, some schools have like different scholarship buckets. For example, the Fuqua Business School has something they call social impact. So even in addition to, if you tell your essays, if you can tell your story in a way that, you've done social impact in Africa, you're interested in social impact in the US, if you tell a very good story, you might be given a merit scholarship and you might be given some money from the social impact scholarship. So they have like different, some people come in with like energy, like I have an energy background, I'm interested in energy. I think they also give like some special money for people who are like energy focused. So you need to first of all research about the school, and you may be able to walk around it. Basically, if you tell a good story, you can get extra funds from different funds that are specifically built for people with a specific kind of background and interest. So I just got merit scholarship, but I have friends who got merit scholarship, social impact scholarship, and they were able to get a lot more than I did. So
okay, great. So we're wrapping this up, but I forgot to ask you, the other schools you applied for, did you finally get admission from them or admission offer from them?
No, so I dropped down after I got Duke, but maybe I wouldn't have. So maybe I got,
Oh.
yeah, but I dropped off after Duke came.
So how do you feel having Duke University? Would it be Duke again if you had the opportunity to go back to it?
Of course, go Duke. It has to be Duke. Duke is a very beautiful school. The
Wow.
Fuqua School of Business in particular emphasizes team spirit. So I was able to build strong relationships with people because we were always in teams. In fact, the company I currently work at, my cohorts, those of us that got employed after business school, there were like 5 of us from Duke, and that's like the most amount of number of people from a particular school. And one feedback they gave to us when we resumed, I just literally just came back to Dallas yesterday.
Okay.
At the work training for the past 3 weeks, was that people had seen how we worked together and how close knit we were and how like how strong our friendship was. So the thing about you thing is, when you come in, you find people who are willing to help you genuinely because they believe in that team spirit mindset. And it was, I would say, it was one of the best decisions of my life going to
Wow.
Duke.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. It's been really great listening to your story, your experiences, and all that you did in order to be able to churn out all of this. We have a couple of questions, but we may not take all of them because of our time. So please, if you have such questions, you can reach us via our number. We have our number already posted on the page. You can text us. Our phone number is on the page. Reach us via WhatsApp or log on to our website at edextra.com/study abroad, edextra.com/study abroad. You can also reach us for our student loan service. For those that are interested in the loan, we are here to also help you at edextra.com/loan. Reach out to us and let's be of the help and support to you. For all our admission service, we're also there to guide you. He mentioned something on admission, so a couple of persons that assisted him. We can also be there to guide you for every of the consulting, assistance, selecting the right school to get your admission letter. Will be there. So please reach out to us. We'll be there to put you through in all of this. So thank you so much, Mr. Chukwuma. And this is to say that we're really excited hearing this. So this is our first interview webinar with you, and you made it so much fun, interesting, and we listened to you. We enjoyed every conversation. You also had someone who is from Duke University that is here live. So and you also recommended that he watch the game. So if you're in Duke, so shout out to you all. Go watch the game. I hope they don't beat you guys, right?
No, they won't.
All right. So thank you all so much. So we'll leave this video on our YouTube page. We'll also share it so that you have it. Rewatch and listen to his advice and his counsel on how you can prepare better for your admission so that you can go there and secure all that you need. Thank you so much from all of us at Edestro Limited. I want to thank you for your time, and we hope you join us for our next segment. So thank you, Mr. Chukwuma. Any word from you, and maybe any last word you want to say to everyone listening?
No, go and rock it. And I'm sure that, you have EdExtra here to help you guys. Yeah, you should
Okay, thank you for information. Thank you so much for information.
Yeah,
thank you. All right, so thank you, everyone. We do hope you have a great time. Izuchukwu is my name. I'm signing out from After School Africa Edestro.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.